For a few seconds, this place was Armageddon. There was a firefight!
All the good girls you take out for dinner, but all the bad girls you take out for liquor. All the good girls, they don't pull the trigger, but all the bad girls, they pull it much quicker. It's never too late to get down and party, switching from good to bad, 'cause you're not.
How's it going, everyone? Matic here, and today what I got for you is 4 firearm evaluation drills, and the cool part is it only takes 100 rounds. So first thing I kind of want to get out of the way is I'm trying a new camera setup, so hopefully things turn out well. If so, awesome. So again, we got 4 different firearm evaluation drills, and you can use these drills for just about any platform that you can really think of, with very, very slight modifications if necessary. So the main purpose of these evaluation drills is they can be used by beginner, intermediate, or even advanced individuals depending on how they're used. These are really great after you kind of establish some type of baseline. If you say you get a new type of firearm, say you change something in your firearm, maybe you got a new holster or a new sling, a new optic setup, maybe you're wearing different gear, maybe a new belt or holster or a mag carrier system. Maybe you're wearing kit. At the time of this moment, we're going from fall to winter, so it's a lot more colder, so you have to wear jackets. Does wearing a jacket affect on how you draw from concealment if you do conceal? Possibly you're wanting to try out a new shooting technique, whether it's a different type of grip, different pressures on the gun, how you're holding it, different stock placement. These evaluation drills are just good for trying out new techniques or gear or equipment and see on how it affects your baseline performance. These drills can be used to see where you are after establishing a baseline, and these drills can be used to establish that baseline as well. And as well with these drills, I'll be trying to introduce versions that you can either do at an outdoor range or at a range at your house, or in a more indoor range or a shooting range where they have lanes. Hopefully I've kind of been able to come up with a few solutions in order to work these drills while still being safe and staying within some places' rules. So what are these 4 drills? The first one is a very simple concealed drawing from a holster or some kind of ready position if you're dealing with a long gun type platform. The second one is transitioning from different targets as we're firing. The third one is movement drills as we are firing at a target. And the fourth one is very simple reloads or emergency reloads and tactical reloads mixed in. So before we can start doing drills, we kind of have some prerequisites. First thing, obviously, firearm. Doesn't really matter which one. You can do it with a pistol, you can do it with a rifle, you can do it with a shotgun. I did not do these evaluations with a shotgun, mostly because I didn't have the amount of rounds required for me to do the process of this filming. Plus, as we know, the only people that really use shotguns anymore are really Marines and kind of gay. So after a firearm, next thing we need is ammunition. And how much ammunition? Again, only 100 rounds. Each drill is only going to be using 25 rounds per drill, divided up over a number of reps. Second thing we're going to need, obviously again, magazines. And this is kind of the part that's going to be a little hard for maybe some people. Most pistols nowadays come with 3 magazines with them. And you can do all of these drills with just 3 magazines. You're just going to be doing a whole lot of reloading. For rifle magazines, it's a lot easier, especially if you live in a state that's not complete communism. We have 30 rounds mags that are standard capacity and higher. So you technically only have to load up 1 rifle magazine per drill. For the pistol mags, it is preferable if you're able to load 1 mag with 10 rounds and then a second mag with 15 rounds. And then the third mag or the next mag after that first 25 with either 10 or 15. Now, if you want to know the number of magazines you will need in order to just load them once for the entire session for pistol and or rifle, for rifle, you need a minimum of 11 magazines. 3 of them will be used for the first 3 drills, and then the next 8 will be used for the reload drills. And then for pistol, unfortunately, if you don't want to load more than once, you're going to need a total of 14 magazines. What? And I do know that for some people that will be a hard ask. That's why I firmly believe that While there are extraordinary pistol platforms or models or companies that make great pistols, if you being able to run that gun or train with that gun causes you financial trouble, you might not want to pick that platform, because in order for you to use it, you wind up having to sell your third son. That's not cool. And then at some point, try to get a shot timer. That way, after you establish your baseline, you can then time your baseline to see on how it is, and if you wind up changing anything, what that change does, if it's an actual numerical value, because unfortunately something feeling right usually just doesn't work, because we can make things in our brain either seem faster or slower than really what it is. So for all of these drills, the rep and round scheme is relatively going to be the same. We are going to start out at 1 round on the first rep. On the second rep, 2 rounds. On the third, 3, 4th, 4, 5th, 5. However, from there, we're then going to go from upwards of 5, 6th rep, 4, 7, 3, 8, 2, 9, 1, for a total of 25 rounds. The reason we are doing this is, 1, we are trying to make sure that whatever, either from a draw or from whatever ready up position we are working on during that session, we want to try to make sure that first round is as close to consistent as possible, regardless of which drill we are doing. We want to try to get it as close as possible. By the nature of some of these drills, that won't be possible, but you still want that to be your goal. Second thing, by having a gradual increase and then decrease of the number of rounds that we shoot, we are able to work on multiple things, whether it be correct stock placement, pulling the rifle into our body correctly, maintaining proper grip over a number of rounds, being able to accurately see what our sighting system, whether you use a LPVO, maybe a scope, maybe a red dot, or maybe even just iron sights. It is enough reps and rounds to where we can kind of see what our sighting system is doing as we are firing. Another point is, at any point in time when our firearm runs dry, which means we are out of rounds and the gun is empty, we want to try to put a new magazine or new rounds into the gun as soon as possible and present out if we are not continuing the drill. And this is primarily important so that we can get additional reps on doing emergency reloads because of the nature of the reload drill. So for the first drill, we're doing a simple either drawing from a holster or simple ready up position. You will either load your full rifle mag, or you will load one of the 10 or 15 round mags into your pistol. For rifle, you will shoot up to 5 rounds and then down to 1 for a total of 9 reps. And then for pistol, this is where it kind of gets a little tricky. Either after 1, 2, 3, 4, you will then do a reload, or after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you will then do a reload in order to then continue shooting the rest of your 25 rounds. I would suggest at first, just to maintain consistency, is either always load a 10 round or a 15 round as your first mag. So because it's a very simple either ready up or drawing from a holster drill, just do the reps and rounds as you should. Now on to the second drill, and that's dealing with transitions. And this is the one where I have a few different solutions on how to perform this drill. Hopefully I'm able to put in frame one of the solutions that I did. So the easiest solution is to have 2 targets in front of you, and you are facing one, and when you go to start, you will start the drill firing a round on one target and then transition over to the other and continue the rest of that rep or that round. If you're simply firing on your 1 rep round, you will fire on your target first and then transition over to the next target and just hold and just try to have that in your head. So the second way we can try to do this drill is we have a target straight in front of us. What we're going to do, we're going to have 2 points on the side of the target that we can clearly see and make out when we bring our weapon system up. So at the go, you will bring your gun up to the side off of your main target. Make sure you stop at your point that you have picked out, then transition to your first target, and then do the drill. And then on the next round, so say we did 1 round, we came up here, fire. Now we're going to go to 2. I am now going to start on this side. I come up, pick my spot, and immediately transition to the front, and then fire 2 rounds. And then you continue this for the entire rep scheme. The third way, which does increase time, so it's a little bit harder to get a good baseline, is you come up on your first target that is in front of you, you swivel over to your main point, come back, and then do the number of rounds that you're supposed to do for that round. While I have not tried those two techniques in a indoor range or in a range that has lanes, I would assume it's a whole lot safer and a little bit more acceptable than if you were to shoot your target and then transition over and then shoot somebody else's target in the lane beside you. They hate that. Next, we have the third drill, and this one is dealing with movement, and people are going to have opinions about it. So again, you will be starting in your ready position. You can choose to have your target to the side of you and you be facing away from it. You can also choose to look at it. Either one doesn't really much matter. It depends on what you really want to try to work on. When you go to start, you will bring your weapon system up, point at the target, do the number of reps. And here's the thing that I wind up doing that I know a lot of professional instructors and stuff say not to do. But my argument is that they are usually teaching people that have no skills or people that have minimal skills and not the time to truly work on proper footwork. So as you'll see in the videos, I'm walking fairly normally. I'm going straight across and firing towards my target. But there is a point to where the body can no longer maintain that sideways position effectively, and then it must do something. Some people will choose to fight their body, and try to maintain on target to do the proper way. While what I do, because I have had years and years of footwork training, I am very comfortable on just crossing my feet, turning backwards, and walking backwards as I continue the drill. And the drill does not stop until I get to my designated endpoint, maintaining a sight picture on the target with my firearm. Now, again, I personally believe learning proper footwork and how to move around your environment is very important, and definitely not to be stuck in one way to do something. Experiment. Again, this is what these evaluation drills are for. Trying out different techniques and seeing what works. If it works for you, awesome. Or if it only maybe works for you, you might have to try it a little bit. Don't just try it once. Try it a few times. Practice with it. Dry fire with it. You might actually start to feel like it is better or comparable to whatever the standard protocol is. So again, we have 3 different ways in order to do the movement drill. The first one is just simply walking across and either trying to maintain a forward movement or allowing your body to turn and continue walking backwards to your designated ending point. The second way, these are mostly for if you're in a shooting booth or you have a very limited booth, even if you're outside, especially at the range that I am at, there is a section to where you have like little stalls that is outside though. So kind of the first way is to do a simple stepping up and down movement, kind of introducing whatever little bumps or sways you might normally do when you're walking and just trying to get your rounds off on target that way. The third way is a little bit more complicated, but with it you will kind of understand on what I mean, that you might just have to switch your feet in order to maintain a proper firing position. And all you're going to do is you're going to put 1 foot forward, 1 foot slightly back, and then you will rock back and forth. And then when you start the drill, you will do the number of reps as you continue to rock back and forth. Now, here's the thing though. Say that we are doing the drill and we are facing to our left. You will start naturally putting your right foot forward and left foot back and then rocking that way. Usually, your body is open, you're facing that way, it's very easy, and that version of the drill is good. Now, with the target still to your left, put your left foot in front and your right foot back, and then do the drill. You will find that your body does not turn nearly as much and it feels a little bit tighter. Now here's the hard part, and this is assuming that you are right-handed. If you're left-handed, it will be the opposite. If you're right-handed and the target is now on your right side because we're facing the other direction, you put your left foot forward and your right foot back. All right, that's not too bad. We're still a little bit kind of going towards our open side and able to get a few rounds off, especially if you're doing the full walking version. If it is somewhat a little bit in front of you, not directly to the side, this position is fairly comfortable. and not that difficult. But the more that the target gets to your side, the harder that is. Now, with the target to our right side, put your right foot forward and your left foot back, and you will find that your body will typically stop in not quite a 45, maybe like a 30 degree, and it does not want to move anymore. It's like, and this is where you can either try to train to just work your body, put in this really tight, contorted version, and try to get rounds off in that position. And yes, I do understand that when you're walking, your body is changing, but you don't always get to choose on what position your body is in if you ever have to send rounds. And that's where I'm going to show a simple step if you want to do my way, to where you wind up changing feet and switching. And as you will see here, the steps that I'm taking, if I'm shooting to my right, I'm going to have my right foot slightly presented in front and my left foot right beside it. And then when I go to take the steps, I'm going to step right foot, left foot, right foot again as I am turning around. So once again, if the target is presented on my right side, I have my right foot and left foot here. And you will have to kind of measure your steps if you are in a small shooting booth to make sure you just don't crash into the wall. Adjust your steps accordingly. But from here, it is right foot, left foot, right foot turning around, left foot finishing the turn with my left side open towards the target, now on my left side. And I promise that is kind of the most complicated drill of this entire one, because all we got left is number 4, our reload drills. Now, in order to do our reload drills, we're going to need 8 magazines. If you're able to load up 8 total magazines. Again, you can do 3. I suggest you don't spend the money to get enough mags that this does not just become a pain. The reason is because we have 25 rounds total, and we're going to load every mag except one with only 2 rounds each. So we're going to load 7 mags with 2 rounds for a total of 14 rounds, and then 1 magazine with a total of 11 rounds, which will give us our full 25. The 11 round magazine is the one we're going to be feeding into our firearm after we shoot those 2 rounds to either present or continue the drill. So an example is, say we're on our 3rd rep, we're shooting 3 rounds. You'll have 3 rounds in your gun. You will fire 1, 2, 3. You will go empty. You will drop your mag, feed another one in, drop, and then put in. After that, we just did a emergency reload. Now we're going to do what's called a tactical reload. We're going to take our 3rd magazine that should have only 2 rounds in it. We're going to grab it, whether it's a pistol or a rifle mag. Grab it, drop our other mag, swap out, and then re-index our reloading mag into our mag carrier or holster pouch, what do you want to call it. And then we restart the drill with 3 rounds total in the gun at this moment. Now, when you go to do this drill, you will notice that when you do the 1 round reps, you don't have a reload. Oh, but then I'm missing my reps in order to get my reloads. Actually, no. If you're following along, anytime the gun runs dry, in between drills, during drills, does not matter. You will do an emergency reload to refeed your gun and then present or continue the drill. So we are substituting a few of the reps from the actual reload drill with the overall session. So again, I highly recommend for the reloading portion, you have a minimum of 8 mags. And this is where it is nice if you have kit, in that you can stow or stash the extra mags somewhere without having to like go to your loading station or whatever, reload your mags, go back up, do your shooting drill, and then go back, reload mags, do the drill. It just becomes more of a hassle. Mostly because if you are able to have all of your magazines, whether it's 11 for rifle or 14 for pistol, you can do all 4 drills shooting 100 rounds in 15 minutes or less. I will say that again. If you have all the mags that you need, whether it's 11 for rifle or 14 for pistol, and you don't have to go back to your station to reload the mags at all, you can be done with all 4 evaluation drills shooting 100 rounds in 15 minutes or less. And then after that, either take that information and then work on something during the rest of your session, or mag dump in the trash. If you're in an indoor shooting range, please do not turn around and shoot the trash can. So those are the 4 evaluation drills that I have for y'all. And I'm not too sure if some of y'all were able to notice, but during the major filming of this, it was actually raining at the range at the time of filming. So I actually got to see how I performed in not sunny weather or when it's raining and stuff is wet and all that mess. The only thing I really noticed is because I fire suppressor on my rifle, the moisture in the air was actually keeping the smoke or the gases surrounding me. If I fired like more than 2 or 3 rounds, was keeping it in front of me and kind of choking me. So I would step back, let it dissipate, and then step forward. So that's another thing as well that I actually learned that I didn't really know about, or some people don't really talk about, is if you fire suppressed, whether or not you have a clear day or there's moisture in the air, especially if it's running, if you go to fire, there is a sweet spot where that smoke or those gases do not go away very quickly, and it's best to just retreat and get away from them. I'm sure if it was raining a lot harder, the water just would have pushed all the smoke down quite a bit quicker, or if there was no water in the air, the gases just would have gone off and I would have gone on my merry way like I usually do. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and yes, it is coming on New Year's. I thought I would start the new year off with a bang. Yes. I will see y'all in the next video where we'll be talking about the next Baki update and some channel updates and changes that I'm going to be making. I'm Matic, and I'll see y'all later.